Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 on Netflix. So, this is the first part of the Culling game, and, let me see, first part, yes, the Culling game. Holy fucking shit. Yes, this was 12 episodes, but god fucking, like, the animation and the action in this was fucking phenomenal. First bit where we pretty much get back introduced to what's kind of going on, where we've got Yuji having to fight Yuta, and what's kind of going on with that. That was kind of nuts. The one in the final episode is a little bit longer of an episode, and that's movie quality shit. Like, just from that one alone. And the quality throughout this is fucking amazing. Now, even though I love this and really like it and want to see what's kind of going on more, I do have certain issues of, like, they do actually have to take an episode, literally sit in a room and talk with a motherfucker to, like, lay out the rules of the game for the Culling game, which I don't know how else they could have changed it, but to like make it work, but they at least put movement in it. So I'm like, okay, where it's not like just sitting there completely. Yuji and how he's kind of like reacted to it is like the best kind of bit of it. I'm like, all right, yeah. Because let me see, does this have a thing with it? Boop boop boop. Here we go. Yeah. There we go. Alright, I have you here. So, the first bit, we see them kind of dealing with the fallout of what Kenjaku has done. And we get his name kind of put out here. I just didn't want to keep referring to him as Geto because we know that's not Geto. It was pretty much those two kind of girls who were like, fuck that motherfucker. I know you're in there. You stole our pretty much love's body. Fuck you. So we learned that name, and that is like a really old fucking sorcerer. We don't know exactly what their kind of deal is, but they've made countless kind of like contracts and pacts to try and get this Culling game kind of started up. So we see Yuji's pretty much running around trying to save as many people to kind of balance out what Sukuna has done. He has also got help with Chozo. Hold on a minute. Where am I? Come to me. Down the scope. There. Yes, Chozo. And then, of course, we get the whole bit that Megumi has been put into the head of the Zenin. However, now this completely misogynistic fuck bit. Let me see. And get this whole kind of bit with the rest of the kind of like uncles involved as well. Pretty much seeing that what is going on with the stipulation of that, and of course since Gojo's out of commission, rolling it to Megumi, and the dude pretty much wants to find Yuji to have bait to get Megumi and kill them both. However, Yuta pops up as well, and we get these crazy ass kind of fights as they're going on, but Yuta is able to take down, even though his blade is cut, he stabs Yuji in the heart and is like, oh fuck, because he has been tasked with his execution. We do see that Chozo is able to beat Nao's ass, even though he's got like the 24 frames per second kind of thing that was going on with the previous sorcerer dude. But we see that an important kind of bit that we get is that Yuji sees a memory of his grandfather talking with his father Jin, being like, you shouldn't be with her because that isn't your wife. She's fucking dead. And of course, we see the wife kind of walk in, and she's got the same kind of head thing. It's like, I'm going to say that's Kenjaku, and that kind of goes with the whole kind of brother kind of thing that Chozo's got. However, that isn't the important bit that we're focused on. It is interesting how Yuji pretty much takes after most of his father because of the pink hair and everything like that. Let me see. So, Yuta reveals that he pretty much faked Yuji's death. Well, actually killing him, but like reverse curse energy, reviving him at the same time, and that he's working with Gojo and wants to help his ass out and protect him because of like Yuta's own experiences with kind of cursed energies and cursed spirits and everything like that, and wanting to help him out of what's been going on. Megumi's like, we need to fucking talk, man. You need to come back to school. And you need to help. But of course, Sukuna and everything's like, no, you guys are safer off without me. And of course, bringing up the whole thing of Nobara and all that. And it's like, we learned that his stepsister is going to be forced into the Culling game, which is like this battle royale thing that's kind of going on. Let's see. He agrees to help. But if Sukuna emerges again, tells you to fucking kill his ass. It's like, okay, cool. So they're trying to figure out to free Gojo. So they kind of have to meet with they meet with Yuki Tsukumo and Maki, and Maki's got like shorter hair and everything like that. She's got lots of scars and everything, but she's alive from being burnt like that. Let me see. And of course, they use Choso to pretty much guide them to get to Tengen to kind of talk about what's kind of going on with what's happening. This is, of course, where we kind of pop up. We see bloodstains from where everything kind of happened with the kind of star vessel. It's like, ooh, that's interesting kind of callbacks there. So they're kind of going that. And of course, we see that Tengen is like, all right. And we also see that Chozo is able to find his siblings and says that he's going to come back and free them kind of later from their kind of bit. We'll see if that actually happens. But they get in there and we see that Tengen's like, yeah, I'm kind of everywhere. And this dude's trying to fucking like do a forced evolution by assimilating with the omnipresent Tengen, kind of like destroying the world. Kind of Shin Megami Tensei kind of shit. But of course, his previous attempts failed because of like the six-size user presence and assimilation with the star plasma vessel. But that's why he took out Rico and pretty much took down Gojo. Let me see. So it won't, and the Culling game won't end until every player is killed. However, they are allowed the creation of new rules, which they will use to free players. So we see that there's like a back to the prison realm. It's like, all right. And there's like a front thing. Let me see. Yeah, Tengen's got the back, but they got to do stuff with the angel. This angel kind of character that's kind of been brought up because we got ancient sorcerers popping up in this motherfucker as well to utilize this to get Gojo out. But of course, Tengen needs protection. So Maki's going to go raid the Zenin clan for cursed tools. Yuta's going to investigate the Sendai colony, and Yuji and Megumi will try and recruit Kinji Hikari, a third year suspended from like Jujutsu High. Let me see. And we see this dude who's like a failed comedian, Takaba, and who has become a player as we're kind of going on. Let me see here. So while they go and do that, we got somebody gets called a dick cheesin', which is a great insult there. I do like the Naruto colors that like Yuji and Fushiguro have when they're kind of going off with that. Of course, we get some more kind of stuff with Takeba utilizing the finger and butt Naruto move, and like the squiggly drawings that pop up later are pretty funny. The bit with Maki when she goes and pretty much fights the Zenin clan is another great one too. But let's go and get to these rules first. Did I put you out? Yes. So, anyone who has awakened their curse technique must declare their participation within 19 days of the colony of their choice. That, of course, is rocking up with Tsukumi, so they've got, like, that kind of ticking time bomb. Any individual who breaks the first rule will lose their curse technique. Tengen confirms that it will result in the death of the person. Players who possess no curse technique will not die from this rule. So, yeah. Non-players who enter a colony will become players. It will be considered a sign of their willingness to participate. However, people who are already inside a barrier will be given the opportunity to leave once. The only way to earn points is by killing other players. We do see Kenjaku giving the two students that kind of worked with Yuji and were in part of the occult club out. That was actually a pretty interesting one, as he thanks them for being friends. Thanks at least the girl for being friends with his son. It's like, Let me see. The only way to earn points is by killing other players. Each player is assigned Okay, this website did it. Each player is assigned points depending on their skills by the game master. To lessen the confusion, each sorcerer's life has 5 points, while non-sorcerer's life is valued at 1 point. Cursed spirits are also worth 5 points. Players who gain 100 points can ask the game master to add any new rule, provided it doesn't impede the culling game. Also, the point value of a player doesn't count towards their accumulated points. Furthermore, the player cannot ask any previous rule to be subtracted. The game master has to add any new rule as long as it doesn't negatively impact the culling game. If the player's score doesn't change for 19 days, then their curse technique will be removed, meaning they will die. It's like, holy fucking shit. And we see that they start figuring out how to kind of deal with these motherfuckers. So, Maki's whole bit, let's go into that. She evidently was pretty much thought of as worthless, but then as she's pretty much forced to, she's trying to take over the Zenin clan to help her sister. However, her sister decides to sacrifice her life to save Maki's, and she pretty much becomes the next kind of Toji, where she is just wrecking wholesale ass at discount prices. Throughout this whole thing, she has a Kill Bill fucking moment where she's like taking out this room full of people like ain't nobody's business. It is fucking amazing, and I love it. And then seeing her also take down these other people with their with curse techniques and just taking out now, it's like, holy fucking shit. The only thing I don't like about this is that we get a little bit of a confusion of what's kind of going on, because her mother's like backing away, being like, stay away from me, and like, I never should have had you kind of shit. So she slits her throat, or like, it looks like it kills her. Then we see that after she defeat Nawa by just like punching his ass out, he's like crawls back, and then we see the mother pop up, pretty much bleeding from her neck wound, and then stabbing and killing him to death as she dies as well. It's not that I have a problem with these things happening. It's just how it's presented, which even I think even in the manga is kind of a little bit harder to follow as well. It's just like, what the fuck is going on here? Now, I'm glad that they put Maki kind of dealing with her mother first, so that way you can kind of get more of an idea of the chain of events. But it's just like, I was almost like, how long did it take him to get here? Because he was like bucking around like I ain't nobody's business at high speeds, doing shit like, all right, how did he get back so fast? Let me see. Because Mai and Maki were pretty much being just left there to be devoured by curses. She even made a replica of Toji's katana. And that's how she pretty much gets her heavenly restriction now as powerful as Toji's. Alright, yeah. And the mother admits that she's proud of her twins after they like crack all sell ass. We also get a bit with Principal Yaga has like able to make like an army of autonomous cursed corpses like Panda or Takeru, Kusakabe's nephew. He resurrected in his cursed corpse. I was like, okay. As we see that the other dude is trying to like get him to understand what's kind of like, tell me your shit. It's like, all right, Panda grieving for his friend's death. It's like, all right, whatever. And of course, we see that Hakara, let me see. Akari is pretty much just doing this kind of like Fight Club kind of thing, and we see Yuji and Panda doing the whole thing, and they're able to showmanship it up enough that Hikari's like, all right, send Yuji up, let's see what's kind of going on here. But of course, they don't trust Jujutsu High pretty much at all, and his significant other, let me see, Kirara, is able to be like, things aren't right here, as she's fighting Panda and Megumi, and not him. They are fighting Panda and Megumi. Their ability is to pretty much is linked to this kind of constellation thing and push pull. That was a very interesting kind of fight scene of having to see Megumi and Panda kind of deal with that, and why they weren't being able to get close enough to them to like take Kirara out. It's like, okay. But we see that Hikari is just like beating the shit out of Yuji, and it's like, listen, I need your help. And they pretty much lay everything out. I was like, what the fuck? Gojo sealed? What the fuck is going on here? And what's kind of going on. And of course, Kogane kind of brings up that there's like a new rule added to the Culling game, allowing all players to view each other's status. There was a reincarnated sorcerer named Kashimo, uh, being like unable to find strong opponents and stuff like that, wanting to fight Sukuna. It's like, ah, shit. We already did that. So Hikari and them are and Panda are going to go to the Tokyo #2 colony to find Kashimo and Angel, while Yuji and Megami head to the Tokyo 1 colony to find Higuruma, because they're trying to get people to utilize their points to initiate the rule changes that they want and need. So then we get a lowdown on Higuruma. I'm pronouncing things wrong. Higuruma as a public defender who really kind of gets fucked up. He's trying to defend these people, and they just have a very strict court system in Japan, and like appeals usually don't help out. He's like tired and seeing these people getting fucked over and not being able to do anything. He was also offered of being a judge at one point, but we see that around the time of the Culling game, he gets his cursed like Shinigami or spirit or whatnot, like Judgment, I believe. Judgment, yes. That was just really hard to see him kind of go through with that. And we see that as they got into the colony, they are pretty much in positions where they're like, oh god, what the fuck? Because Yuji and Megami are separated, and this one dude pretty much is like trying to take out Megami, but Yuji's able to take out these other flying motherfuckers and getting helped out by the one person to kind of point him to Higuruma. Higuruma, yes. And him we see what's kind of going on with his judgment and tries to figure out what to do with his domain. And he's like, ah, shit, as he's like getting his ass beat before he goes on for the whole thing with Sukuna, and he goes, I did it. And we see how much of a toll it's taken on him. And Higuruma's like, you didn't do it. You were not of sound body or mind. You were taken over. He's like, he doesn't really care. He was going to say it anyway. But that Higuruma had released it because he was innocent. But then he uses his points to allow the rule to transfer points to one another, giving Yuji 1 point to Yuji, and leaves, intending to turn himself in for killing those that he did when the game's over. Because he started by taking out the prosecutor and the judge on the trial that we had seen throughout his whole kind of bit. It's like, god damn, I feel for the dude, but... And I understand him going that far, but that's not right, man. It's like, no. Let me see. So Reggie, Megami fighting this Reggie dude as he's utilizing his domain, that was pretty interesting. Because, well, we have to first get, like, the comedian dude who's doing these crazy kind of stuff. Him busting out stuff, the kind of squiggly drawings of what's kind of going on. That was great. As we then see Megami going after this one dude who's able to summon stuff from his fucking receipts. It's like, alright, dude, go for it. But that led to an actually intense standoff as they're in his domain, and we see that, like, stuff that gets put into Megami's shadow affects his weight as he's attempting to crush him. But we see that Megami is able to get the upper hand on that motherfucker. And let me see. It destroyed the gym floor, and that's what caused him to kind of fall down. And, of course, his receipts are unusable because they're wet, and he uses the dog to mortally wound him and says that he doesn't know what's either Kenjaku or Tengen enough to answer about the Culling game's true purpose, and giving his points to Megami to kind of, like, fuck with him. Let's see. And we see that Megumi was trying to kill this one chick that was trying to continuously fuck with him, but of course, he's able to hear the sister in his head, and he kind of collapses. And we see that the angel one kind of pops up and like drags his ass away. It's like, all right, it'll be interesting to see how that kind of works out. And then we get like the craziest fucking thing as Yuta's trying to protect these group of civilians, and he pretty much utilizes Rika to do that, as he then tries to fight these 4 other motherfuckers. Well, he kills the one, because we pretty much had like 4 super predators keeping a balance in here. But he takes out one of them, and has to fight like this one cockroach motherfucker that was nasty and gnarly. We think he's taking him out first. However, he like comes back in after he's doing like a 2-way, but not 2-way, a 3-way between him and this like assassin one. And of course, he's a descendant of the person that's kind of fucked over the people, the assassin woman, and she's able to like grab the fucking sky and shit. While the other dude's using his pompadour to like blast fucking cannons and cannon shots at things, like energy blasts, as he's making this whole thing about dessert, about never being fulfilled. And that's actually a very interesting thing as he's doing all these different kind of fights, and we get everybody's characters through how they fight, because we see that Yuta's able to copy other people's abilities and utilize that, as we see the character be like, oh shit. And this is probably one of the prime examples of, if anybody, John Wick as well, but if I had to get an animated form of this, action conveying character. Because a lot of the time, directors or even audiences are like, this is just spectacle for spectacle's sake. But action and fighting should never be thought of as anything that is just separate from character. Character informs the action. How Goku fights and how he tests himself differentiates him from his opponents. From how Buu fights, from how King Piccolo fights, between how Piccolo fights. How Yusuke fights versus Turago. Turago. I'm fucking mashing my shit up. Toguro. Fuck me. Versus Sensui. Any Gundam fighters with how their Gundams fight versus anything else. It's... Action should never be thought of as just that thing you throw out whenever. I mean, like, it doesn't matter, just make it look cool. You can make it look cool and convey what characters are able to do and what to accomplish. Pompadour motherfucker here had a good life, but he was never fulfilled because he never, I guess, had that chance to kind of test himself and have that kind of thing that he was able to have with Yuta here as they're fighting pretty much to bash all this shit in. As we get that Yuta's able to like take these people out, but it is one of the hardest fought motherfucking things you ever see. How he's able to utilize Rika tactically to effectively use her within the time limits that he's got, showcasing why he should be in upper echelons and compared to Satoru Gojo. And even though he does not have the same abilities, seeing how he utilizes his sword, seeing how he utilizes his cursed energy and reverse curse technique, it showcases who he is as a person. He came here and he did his best to save people. He tried to fly in and save this one person that was being eaten by the bugs from that fucking bug curse motherfucker. Curse spirit. And then seeing him go throughout this battle and utilize these things to fight off these 3 other opponents. And just how it was this kind of fluidity and kind of almost sketch-like quality that it's done, where you almost see the page itself moving. It's just, I would hold, like, I'm not trying to glaze this series and just jerk the fucking thing off. I would hold this up for animation quality because of what it's able to do and convey, and how it just shows what the medium is capable of with action scenes, like seeing what was done with like Demon Slayer and like Mugen Train in the movie and everything like that. I'm like, this is movie quality shit. These people should like have something for what they've done because of how amazing this was. And that's throughout the whole season. And when I say it kind of looks sketch quality, I'm not saying that it's not polished and not done. It's just that kind of fluidity of motion of like, holy fucking shit, of just like how arms and everything move. It's just great. And seeing that culminate in the characters of being like, I finally am fulfilled. And of course, exercising that fucking asshole like a three-way domain expansion, being interrupted by like the Kurorushi, and going all out to get his desired feast. Utilizing Oro's technique, having copied it, and being like, he didn't kill them. He just stopped them and got their points. He's like, if I don't have to kill you, I don't want to kill you. And I just love that he was able to stick with that and to stop them and get the points that he needs to make all the rules that he's going to need. Or, of course, Ronami won't be able to get stronger so long as he fights for others, pointing out how most powerful sorcerers all have egos and fight for themselves alone. But as we see in most cases, if you have someone or something to fight for, sometimes you fight even stronger. So hopefully this series is able to showcase that off and showcase stuff that we've seen in like My Hero Academia and everything like that, where yes, it's the power of friendship, but you are stronger together. It doesn't mean jack fucking shit if you're the strongest thing on the planet and you don't have anybody at all. Like, I would take these guys fighting and winning to help people and defeat these assholes and showcase that shit's wrong. Yes, power friendship. It's all how it's executed and how it's done that makes it work. And I can't wait to see what kind of goes on with this and the continuation of the Culling game and what other kind of animation quality is going on, because god damn, if you want action and you want animation, this is what you want. Like, I'm glad that they popped this off and I was able to see it and that I didn't have to wait too long. I was like, okay, second one's here, third one's coming out. And I was like, yeah. So I wanted to see what kind of goes on, what more we learn about Yuji, Megumi, how Maki is able to utilize the Zenin clan and everything like that, and what this Culling game is going to be used for, and how they're able to stop it if they can, or what repercussions are going to be going on. There's a lot of crazy shit, and I'm like, all right, you're in, I'm in here. I want to see what goes on with the rest of the characters, like that Takeba kind of dude and his weird comedian shtick, and how that kind of works into it, because he could be one of the most powerful ones going on, because Sukado would probably be like, how do I deal with this fucking asshole? Like, that would be one where I think Sukuna would legitimately start getting pissed off, and I'm talking scary pissed of like, okay, we've seen him doing his shit and having to deal with shit and like, I'm the baddest bitch, watch my dick. But Takeba might just throw enough of a spanner in the works where he'd be like, I am fucking annoyed with you. Fuck off. Die, bitch. Die, bitch. And he's just like, I'm a funny motherfucker, this funny motherfucker, yeah. And then just, he's just like, so we'll see what goes on. So those are my opinions on this season. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.